Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is February 12th, 2018. And now the news at noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, a Colorado Department of Transportation worker who was struck by a vehicle last week west of Pagosa Springs suffered severe injuries to his legs and irreversible brain damage, according to a family member. Nolan Olson, age 64, was filling potholes February 2nd on U.S. Highway 160 near mile marker 140 when he was hit by a passing car, said CDOT spokeswoman Lisa Schwantes. He was rushed to Pagosa Springs Medical Center before being flown to St. Anthony Hospital in Lakewood. Olson's stepdaughter, Tanya Hamilton, wrote in a journal entry on the website Caring Bridge that the damage to his brain is beyond repair and beyond healing. Right now, machines are keeping his physical body alive, and the Nolan that we all knew and loved is no longer with us, she wrote Thursday night. Olson of Pagosa Springs has worked for CDOT for 14 years. The Pagosa Springs Sun identified the driver who hit Olson as 83-year-old Jerry Modisette of Pagosa Springs. He was cited with careless driving causing bodily injury, according to the newspaper. Pagosa Springs Police Department did not return phone calls this week seeking details about the crash.
From the Dove Creek Press by Lisa Airy, I'm interested in green, so says Superintendent Hankins, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. It is exciting to see leadership take the lead in this area. The superintendent of the school not only found a resource to come pick up the school's electronic waste for free, he found a resource that is R2 certified, recognizing the need for comprehensive best practices that address the operational and environmental challenges in electronics recycling and repair. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency convened a multi-stakeholder process to create a voluntary, market-based mechanism for ensuring best practices in electronics recycling. What emerged from that process was the, quote, Responsible Recycling Practices for Use in Accredited Certifications Programs, or the R2 standard. This allows us to recognize and choose companies who are actually recycling rather than sending it to China or someplace where it usually ends up in the ocean. Quote, reuse is widely recognized as the most environmentally beneficial form of materials management. Repairing and reusing electronics extends the useful life of products and keeps them out of the waste stream. It also recovers more value per unit than any other form of materials management. Not only that, reusing electronics devices reduces the need to manufacture new units and makes an affordable electronics more accessible to a wider range of consumers. Electronics can contain mercury, cadmium, phosphorus, lead, and other elements that can contaminate the air, soil, and water if sent to a landfill or otherwise improperly managed. They can also become extreme hazards, releasing these toxins in the air around them. Recovery of valuable metals and other materials from end-of-life electronics provides a sustainable solution when reuse is no longer feasible. Urban mining for rare and precious materials contained in electronic devices stretches our planet's limited supply of natural resources and requires less energy than the mining of new metals. With this valuable resource in hand, a request has been put into the Dolores County Commissioners to consider creating an annual e-waste drive for the entire county. It would go a long way to supporting the county mission to provide a safe environment for citizens and to help maintain a good quality of life for all without impacting our county budget. The economy we are in at this time focuses on maximizing profits. Products are designed to be short-lived, so the need for buying again is built in. This is a bottom-line growth theory with an unsustainable environmental result which directly affects each one of us financially and physically. In days gone by, companies built to last. Now it seems they are building to fall apart. Until products are built with the end-of-life 0% waste solution built in, we may have to don mining hats in a new way as green becomes the new gold.
According to the Cortez Journal, a faction of La Plata County residents who oppose the county's proposed land use codes believe the work is part of an international conspiracy led by the United Nations to create a new world order. This is the Agenda 21, said Ignacio resident Dan Purcell, who received loud applause at the end of his speech from many of the more than 600 people who attended a January 16th meeting about the land use codes. Agenda 21 is behind it all, he said. Otherwise, where does this stuff come from? The good news, folks, is we can get rid of the United Nations. We don't have to have a treaty with them here in our county. Bob Witt, an Ignacio resident, read from a 2009 essay from The American Thinker, a conservative online publication. The article states that Agenda 21 reshuffles land rights using favorable words such as sustainable and smart growth in order to essentially force people into government housing or city-states, making them easier to control. Most Americans will remain unaware of the implications of smart growth and Agenda 21 until after it is promulgated in their own backyards, Witt read. Purcell and others are referring to a UN document called Agenda 21, which was developed and signed in 1992. Its stated purpose is to help guide local, state, and national governments towards sustainable development in the 21st century, hence the name. Megan Graham, spokeswoman for the county, said the UN and Agenda 21 have had no role in La Plata County's land use code revision effort.
New restaurant inspection reports are to be posted in the Journal out of Cortez. The Journal is now publishing local restaurant inspection reports provided monthly by the Montezuma County Health Department. Inspections of all retail food facilities are done yearly, and in some cases more than once a year. Unannounced inspections are conducted for restaurants, school cafeterias, hospital and nursing home cafeterias, grocery stores, convenience stores, fairgrounds, resorts, food trucks, festivals, and any event or facility where food is sold to the public. Melissa Matthews conducts about 145 retail food facility inspections every year for Montezuma and Dolores counties as the County Health Department's environmental health specialist. The comprehensive inspections are completed on site and include compliance standards set by the Colorado Department of Health and Environment. The categories are divided into critical and non-critical health standards specific to retail food facilities. Critical areas are those that, if not in compliance, can cause foodborne illnesses. The categories include food sources, personnel, food temperature control, sanitation, water systems and plumbing, hand washing facilities, pest control, and poisonous or toxic items. Non-critical areas are important but have less risk of causing foodborne illnesses. The categories include food labeling and protection, equipment design and construction, testing devices, cleaning of equipment, utensils and linens, and physical facilities. Matthews said that overall, local retail food establishments do a good job complying with the health standards. She said often a problem is corrected on site, but if that is not possible, then a follow-up inspection occurs soon after. Under Colorado law, any retail food customer can ask an establishment for its latest inspection report, and the facility is required to provide it, Matthews said. Matthews is also responsible for inspecting and approving septic systems in the two counties. She also works to prevent diseases such as hantavirus, West Nile disease, and bubonic plague, which can be transmitted from animals to humans. The Journal pursued publishing regular restaurant inspection reports after readers requested them. The San Juan Health Department, which covers La Plata and Archuleta counties, publishes regular restaurant inspection reports on its website. Montezuma County Health Director Bobby Locke also said the county plans to eventually post all Dolores and Montezuma County restaurant inspection reports online.
According to the Cortez Journal, they arrive before the sun, lining up for a lifeline that comes in a shot of pink liquid. The doors to the methadone clinic on the campus of Denver Health open before dawn, and the line stretches down one side of the clinic hallway and back up the other. One at a time, patients swig a cup of methadone passed through an opening from the other side of a protective window. The liquid opioid quenches the craving to shoot heroin and staves off a withdrawal that brings on vomiting, sweating, muscle aches, and uncontrollable shaking in what some describe as the worst flu ever. Denver Health's narcotic treatment program now has 550 patients, double what it had 3 years ago. But the medical center estimates it could serve 4 times as many people, more than 3,000, if it had the staff and other resources to take everyone addicted to opioids who walked in from the streets, visited the main hospital, or was booked in the Denver jail. It's a similar story across Colorado, where access to medication-assisted treatment for opioid addiction has expanded rapidly in the past few years, but isn't yet close to getting a grip on the need. the Denver Post reported. Throughout the country, the epidemic has overwhelmed resources. In the past 3 years, the number of methadone clinics in Colorado has doubled from 11 to 23, in sync with a 2014 rule change that Medicaid would start reimbursing for methadone treatment. Most are in the Denver area, but there are now 2 in Pueblo and 1 each in the San Luis Valley, Colorado Springs, Greeley, Grand Junction, Montrose, and Durango. New admissions to opioid treatment programs, the only places allowed under federal law to dispense methadone, have gone from 1,388 people statewide in 2013 to 3,566 last fiscal year. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The National Weather Map forecast from NOAA with data provided by the Raytheon Corporation shows that snow system we are part of is encompassing the Intermountain West from Nevada through Wyoming and across up to Minnesota, with a low pressure front dipping down across the whole center of the U.S., with some lake effect snows also possible for today. Behind that system is a mix of rain through southern California and even southern Arizona. Over on the East Coast, the low pressure is moving rain and thunderstorms across the southeast and most of Florida, with rain stretching up the coast and into the mid-Atlantic area as well. Regionally, snowfall will increase this morning across southwest Colorado and southeast Utah. The valley rain and mountain snow will spread north and west across most of eastern Utah and western Colorado this afternoon through Tuesday night. Highest accumulation should be above 9,000 feet. Hazardous driving conditions will be possible over all of the high mountain passes. Isolated thunderstorms are also possible this afternoon. Areas of precipitation will linger over eastern Utah and western Colorado Tuesday and Wednesday, focusing on areas north of Interstate 70. Another storm will then move into the area from the northwest Wednesday night through Thursday, bringing snow to mountains and a rain and snow mix to the valleys. Yet another storm is lined up to affect the forecast area on Sunday as well. So we're seeing a big change in our regional pattern and hoping for some good moisture to start adding back into our area. The local DCTV 5-day forecast today: periods of snow showers before 11 a.m. and then periods of rain showers. Some thunder is also possible. A high of 44 today, breezy with a south wind 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts as high as 40 miles an hour, as I'm sure you heard last night. Chance of precipitation is 80%. Total daytime snow accumulations of less than an inch possible at the end of it all. Tonight, rain and snow showers are likely before 10 p.m. and then scattered snow showers between 10 and 5 a.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers after 5 a.m. Some thunder is also possible, cloudy with a low around 32 degrees. South winds are 10 to 15 miles an hour and the chance of precipitation tonight is 60%. New snow accumulation of less than half an inch is possible, according to the National Weather Service. And then these are the weather numbers from the National Weather Service: that a chance of snow showers before 8 a.m. on Tuesday, then a chance of rain and snow showers between 8 a.m. and noon, and a slight chance of rain showers in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy with a high near 45. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 30. South winds around 5 miles an hour. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high of 47. Breezy with a south wind 10 to 20 miles an hour. Wednesday night, chance of rain and snow showers before midnight, and then a chance of snow showers. Mostly cloudy with a low around 30 overnight. Chance of precipitation goes down to 40%. Then Thursday, it continues with 40% chance of snow showers, partly sunny with a high near 42, 42, and a slight chance of snow showers before 11 p.m. on Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 19. Friday, sunny with a high near 41. Friday, mostly clear with a low around 21. Saturday, it'll be sunny with a high near 46 degrees. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 24 degrees. And someone's calling. Maybe it's our snow and rain coming in. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, 8th graders at Cortez Middle School will hold mock trials at the Montezuma County Combined Courthouse on March 8th and 12th to cap a study of genocide. The classes, led by 8th grade language arts teachers Lisa Lycan and Catherine Freeman, have been studying the Holocaust this semester. According to Lycan, the students have been working on language skills while researching for their mock trial. Students have been assigned a current or historical event that could be considered genocide and are preparing supporting and opposing arguments. The teachers chose 4 cases. The students will research and argue whether those events should be considered genocide. Clearly, they are all horrible things that happened in history. There is no question about that, Lycan said. The question is whether or not they fit the definition of genocide, which is something that real, very smart people argue every day currently, so it is a real-life situation, she said. Students will prepare until the dates of their mock trials in March. Lycan and Freeman are looking for anyone with personal testimonies about genocide or anyone with courtroom and law experience to speak to their classes. They are also looking for community volunteers to be the jury in the mock trials.
From the Cortez Journal, report on Southwest cattlemen facing industry challenges. Updates on ranching and range issues were presented at the Southwestern Colorado Livestock Association meeting Saturday at the Cortez Elks Lodge. This week, winter snowpack of less than 40% of normal could cause low soil moisture issues on grazing allotments on Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service land this summer. Adjustments in where and how many livestock can graze may be made, federal officials said, but spring rains would alleviate that problem. A new electronic driving log for livestock haulers is also problematic for local ranchers, reported Rancher and Montezuma County Commissioner Larry Don Sucla. According to the Colorado Transportation Rule, once the engine is started, the trucker is allowed only 11 hours of drive time, and it must be completed within 14 hours. But often there are situations when the hauler has to wait many hours before the semi-trailer is loaded. Then he bumps up against the 14-hour limit. U.S. Representative Scott Tipton, Republican of Cortez, discussed using the new farm bill to change immigrant labor laws in order to benefit Colorado agriculture needs. For example, overly complicated laws are blocking Peruvian sheep herders relied on by ranchers in Craig from entering the country to work. They've been coming here for years, then going back home, but under labor programs, they are inhibited from working during the season. Tipton said rules and regulations need to be pliable to work for industry. Tipton also advocated for effective and fair agricultural trade agreements, including deals that allow potato growers in the San Luis Valley to ship to markets in northern Mexico. Other topics presented and discussed include proposed air quality regulations that would make ranchers measure and regularly report methane emissions from livestock operations as a concern for the industry because of increased cost and hassle. Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin said to expect increases in water disputes if the current dry spell continues. One of his deputies, Dave Hunn, specializes in water law and conflicts and has done a lot to educate the public and resolve issues during past droughts, he said. Nowlin warned that cattle rustling is still a threat to local producers. Locally, it is not rampant, but nearby areas, including the San Luis Valley and south of Norwood, are seeing an increase in cattle theft. Also, livestock producers said they would like to see country and state of origin labeling on beef products in the grocery store to improve marketing for locally produced meat. The origin label has become a difficult problem to crack because it required modifying rules with the World Trade Organization, reported on official with the Colorado Cattlemen's Association.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a bill that could put up to $100 million into financing rural broadband cleared the Senate on Thursday morning with changes its sponsors say will speed up the process. Senate Bill 2 would take money from the fund that currently pays for landlines and shift that over 5 years to pay for internet service to rural communities left out of Colorado's economic boom. The Senate sent the bill to the House with a 30-5 vote. The money that would go to rural broadband would come from what is known as the High Cost Support Mechanism, a state fund that takes in a 2.6% surcharge on phone bills. The fund's support has dwindled in the past few years as more people shift away from landlines and exclusively towards cell phone service. However, the HCSM still takes in about $35 million per year. Most of those dollars, around $30 million per year, currently go to CenturyLink. In addition to financing broadband service to unserved or underserved areas, the bill also sets a floor for broadband speeds of 10 megabits per second for download and 1 megabit per second for upload. That's far below the recommended speed set by the Federal Communications Commission of 25 megabits per second for download and 3 megabits per second for upload. But the bill's proponents, including Senator Don Coram, Republican of Montrose, and Senate President Pro Tem Jerry Sonnenberg, Republican of Sterling, told a Senate committee last week that the priority for HCSM grants should be to get basic service to rural communities first and faster service second. As introduced, the bill would transfer 20% of the dollars CenturyLink gets from the HCSM per year into a broadband deployment fund. The bill's sponsors tried to persuade the Senate Business, Labor, and Technology Committee to speed up the timeline for fund transfers last week, with 60% going to the broadband fund in the first year and 10% over each of the next 4 years. That failed, but the sponsors won the second round when the Senate on Wednesday approved the change.
Border agents searching for banned Valentine's Day flowers is as an influx, reported by the Durango Herald that customs agents will step up searches for banned flowers meant for Valentine's Day being smuggled into the U.S. from Mexico over worries about diseases and pests, federal officials announced. Agriculture specialists will be stationed at El Paso, Texas, ports of entry to inspect flowers and plants being brought over the border, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said this week. Live plants, seeds, and bulbs are not allowed entry into the United States without special permits and documents certifying that they are disease-free. Quote, CBP agriculture specialists are working hard every day preventing potentially harmful plant, pests, and foreign animal diseases from entering the U.S., said Hector Mancha, the agency's El Paso Director of Field Operations. Valentine's Day week is one of their busiest periods of the year. Some floral bouquets and arrangements purchased in Mexico contain flowers and greenery that are prohibited in the U.S. At El Paso area ports of entry, the most common contraband flowers and plant foliage are chrysanthemums and quassia, a type of shrub. Officials say both are known to harbor harmful pests and disease. Not declaring or intentionally smuggling prohibited items through ports of entry can lead to civil penalties starting at $300, officials said. Customs and Border Protection officers at Miami International Airport have deployed beagles to search for prohibited fruits and vegetables, officials say, that could harm South Florida.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of February 5th through the 11th. A county resident reported finding an injured bird of prey on Highway 491 south of town. The call was referred to Colorado Parks and Wildlife for possible recovery. An out-of-state resident contacted dispatch to report a missing child previously reported in another jurisdiction may be in our area. It was determined that the child may have been in Dolores, Colorado. Dispatch relayed the call to Montezuma County to make the official report. A resident reported their keys missing, possibly lost in the post office. If anyone locates keys, please turn them into the sheriff's office. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings, as this is a local event hosted by the Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce and the Colorado Pay It Forward Club, will remind you again later in the week, this Saturday, February 17th, from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Dove Creek Community Center. You're welcome to attend the first Dolores County Nonprofit and Volunteer Summit 2018. Any nonprofit organization is welcome to share a 2 to 5 minute presentation on their group. Please RSVP to share what they are doing and where they are headed in 2018. There will be a speaker discussion on nonprofit collaboration and general Q&A so that the community can get to know the local nonprofits that are doing so much work to help the community. This is also an opportunity for you to learn more about the Rural Philanthropy Days coming up in September in Cortez and what that means for your nonprofit group to benefit from training and a chance to be in front of the people who make the funding decisions. It only happens once every 4 years. For more information, check out the Dove Creek Chamber's Facebook page or call 970-560-2856. Wednesday, February 14th, the AAA Travel Series will be held at the Cortez Cultural Center from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's free to the public. Trek Travel presents a perfect day, highlighting the types of cycling vacations available across the world: road, mountain biking, multi-sport, and more. At the Cortez Cultural Center, there will be refreshments, beer, and wine available. Also, Wednesday, February 14th, of course, is Valentine's Day, and the State Line Bar and Grill is opening for the evening for a special dinner event offer. It's a sweetheart of a deal. For delicious dinner, they open at 4 p.m. on the 14th. You can call to make a table reservation or just take someone special out and head on out. Their number is 970-677-2649. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. The email's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.